Collection of Prayers in Part 1. Prayers for God's Judgment. These are the words which came to me in the season of affliction, when the oppressor was strong and the righteous were surrounded. And the word of the Lord was upon my heart, saying, Write these prayers, that my people may remember my judgments, and call upon me in the day of trouble. For I am the Lord, and I will not forget the cry of the afflicted, neither will I leave the blood of the innocent unavenged. Ode 1. The God who scatters the hostile. I lifted my voice to the Lord Almighty, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He saw the snares laid in secret places. He heard the groaning of my soul. He is my rock and my fortress, and his judgments are rivers of fire. He searched my heart and found no deceit, and he stretched forth his arm to scatter the enemies. They fell into the pit they dug for me. Their own counsel became their ruin. Blessed is the Lord, whose hand is swift to deliver. Ode 2. The God who breaks the bow. You have broken the bow of the mighty, O Lord. You have clothed the humble with strength. I will not lift my hand in revenge, for you are my champion and defender. Draw your sword and strike the oppressor. Scatter them like chaff before the wind. Blessed is the Lord, whose arm is strong in battle, and whose eye is gentle toward his own. Ode 3. The God who turns counsel to ashes. The wicked sat in counsel against me, but the Lord laughed from his holy hill. Their words became smoke, their devices a net for their own feet. You, O Lord, are my defender. Your truth is a shield round about me. Blessed is he who frustrates the schemes of the proud and lifts up the head of the lowly. Ode 4. The God who shakes the earth. The nations roared like a flood, and their voices were like thunder. But the Lord shook the earth in his wrath. The mountains melted like wax before his face. He looked upon their violence and repaid them in the measure they had given. Blessed is the name of the Lord, who hears the oppressed and acts with power. Ode 5. The God who is my tower. The wicked sharpen their tongues like swords, but the Lord is my strong tower. His word is a wall of fire around me. His name, a refuge in the storm. He confounded their speech, and confusion filled their camp. Blessed is the Lord, who keeps the steps of his servant and does not allow him to be moved. Ode 6. The God who brings down the proud. The Lord weighs the hearts of men, and no secret is hidden from him. The proud exalt themselves like mountains, but he casts them into the sea. Their boasting is cut off. Their pride is their ruin. Blessed is the Lord, who humbles the proud and crowns the meek with honor. Ode 7. The God who fights for me. The Lord of hosts goes forth as a warrior. His chariots are the clouds, and his arrows are lightning. He contends with those who contend with me. He draws out the spear against my pursuers. He says to my soul, I am your salvation. Blessed is the Lord, my warrior and my deliverer. Ode 8. The God who repays blood with blood. The cry of the slain rises to heaven. Their blood speaks before the Lord. He will not forget the work of the violent, nor will he spare the hands that shed blood. Blood will return upon their own heads. Their reward is with them. Blessed is the Lord, who guards the life of his servant and keeps him from the snare of death. Ode 9. The God who is my rock. The waves of death surrounded me, but the Lord lifted me from the deep. He is my rock and my horn of salvation. He executes vengeance for me. He subdues the peoples under my feet and makes my enemies my footstool. Blessed is the Lord, who is exalted forever. Ode 10. The God who gives rest. The battle belonged to the Lord, and he shattered the enemy in his wrath. He set my feet in a broad place. He crowned me with joy instead of mourning. My fear became praise, and my lament turned into dancing. Blessed are you, O Lord, for you have done all these things, and I will proclaim your name to every generation. Part 2. Prayers for deliverance, restoration, and prosperity. These are the words given in a time of weariness, when the hands of the righteous were weak and their barns were empty. And the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Write for my people these songs, that they may call upon me for deliverance, that their strength may be renewed, that their land may be healed, and their storehouses may be filled. For I am the Lord, who redeems from the pit, restores the years the locust has eaten, and blesses the work of the hands that honor me. Ode 11. The God who draws me out of many waters. The waves rose over my soul, but you, O Lord, stretched forth your hand and lifted me. You broke the chains of my captivity and set my feet upon solid ground. Blessed is the Lord, who delivers his servant from deep waters and brings him into the light of the morning. Ode 12. The God who restores the ruins. You looked upon my broken walls, O Lord, and with your own hand you rebuilt them. The stones rejected by men you have set in place, and the gates that were burned you have restored. Blessed is the Lord, the repairer of the breach and the restorer of paths to dwell in. Ode 13. The God who heals the land. The ground was dry beneath my feet, but you sent the rain in its season. You crowned the year with your goodness, and the valleys overflowed with grain. Blessed is the Lord, who causes the wilderness to blossom and the desert to rejoice like the Garden of Eden. Ode 14, the God who lifts the poor from the dust. I was brought low and sat among ashes, but you lifted me to sit with princes. You clothed me with joy instead of mourning, and gave me beauty for ashes. Blessed is the Lord who raises the humble and fills the hungry with good things. Ode 15, the God who opens the storehouse of heaven. You have opened the windows of heaven, O Lord, and poured out a blessing until there is no lack. The work of my hands you have established, and my table overflows with bread. Blessed is the Lord who makes me a well-watered garden and satisfies my soul in drought. Ode 16, the God who restores the years. The locust and the cankerworm consume my harvest, but you have repaid me double. My threshing floors are full, and my winepress overflows with new wine. Blessed is the Lord who turns loss into abundance and sorrow into songs of joy. Ode 17, the God who guides in peace. You have made my path straight, O Lord, and caused me to dwell in safety. No arrow strikes me by day, and no pestilence comes near my dwelling. Blessed is the Lord who surrounds his people as the mountains surround Jerusalem. Ode 18, the God who enlarges my borders. You have increased my inheritance and lengthened my cords. The place of my tent is enlarged, and my barns are filled with plenty. Blessed is the Lord, who multiplies my seed and causes my fruit to abound in every season. E19, the God who makes my cup overflow. You have set a table before me in the presence of my friends and my foes. My cup overflows with gladness. Goodness and mercy pursue me, and peace rests upon my house. Blessed is the Lord who anoints my head with oil and keeps my lamp burning. Ode 20, the God who finishes what he began. You began a good work in me, O Lord, and you will bring it to completion. You have established me in the land, and your covenant of peace is upon me. Blessed is the Lord forever, whose word does not return void, and whose blessing makes rich and adds no sorrow.